Donald Trump joins us now on the phone. Mr. Trump, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt.
So you used words like amazing, simple, easy, and fair in describing your tax plan. You've heard what the critics are saying. Not only will it add trillions to the national debt, but it will also benefit the wealthy disproportionately. Why are they wrong?
Well, first of all, we actually have had tremendous reviews on the plan by most people. Most people are liking it and are supporting it. And Carl Icahn came out today, and so many others. They love this plan, and it will actually affect the rich to a much lesser extent. The people that are in middle income, our middle class, our middle income people, are going to be the biggest beneficiaries. Their taxes are coming down very substantially, and for the most part, that's been covered. It hasn't been covered by you quite yet, but I think it will be.
Let me ask you this. So you're cutting the rates for millions of Americans. You're going to close some loopholes and get rid of some deductions, although I think you still need to be more specific about that area. But the critics, again, I'm going with the critics. Yes, there are positive reviews, but the critics say you're also shrinking the tax base, the number of people paying taxes, and that's why you can't pay for this.
Well, no, they're wrong, because we're bringing in at least $2.5 trillion is stuck outside of this country. $2.5 trillion, and the number could be much, much higher. And companies can't get that money brought back into this country. It's just one of many things. And that money now will be able to flow back in under my plan. That money will be able to flow back into the country. We're going to be reducing corporate taxes. Jobs will be created. The economy is going to expand tremendously like it hasn't since Reagan, but probably even before that. This will be a rocket ship for the economy. Right now, we have almost 100 million people that are out of work. They're out of work. Whether we like it or not, they're out of work. We need jobs.
We can debate jobs and growth at a later date. Let me ask you, you're revealing this plan at a time, Mr. Trump, where it seems like the runaway train that was your campaign is slowing down a little bit. You're in a statistical dead heat now with Ben Carson, and although they're a little bit further back, Carly Fiorina and Marco Rubio are definitely gaining traction. Why do you think there is this dynamic at this stage?
Well, Matt, I'm still leading in every poll, and some of the polls are really good. You know, you're citing one where I'm leading, actually. I'm 1 point up on Ben. But I am leading every poll. In Iowa, I'm leading substantially. In New Hampshire, I'm leading substantially. In South Carolina, I'm leading substantially. And, you know, this is going to be an ebb and flow. I'm not saying, you know, how can I continue to lead by such wide margins?
Right.
It's an ebb and flow. But I'm leading every single poll, and most of them by a substantial number. Now, can I keep that going? I have no idea, but I'll try. This is an important element because the economy is terrible. Our economy is right now terrible. And, you know, part of this is cutting, cost cutting, because so much money is being wasted in the United States. So part of my plan is cost cutting, and the other part of my plan is renegotiating trade deals to bring jobs back to the United States.
Let me ask you about this meeting between President Obama and President Putin yesterday. Obviously, Russia went around the United States in creating this strategic alliance with Iraq, Iran, and Syria to fight ISIS. I'm curious, do you side with the group that thinks President Assad in Syria is the reason for the rise of ISIS, or do you side with Vladimir Putin, who thinks President Assad presents our best opportunity to combat ISIS?
Well, I side with the group that says if Russia wants to go in and fight ISIS, you should let them, as opposed to saying, you know, we're jealous, we don't want you to do that. And I've been saying that for a long time. Now, Assad is backed up very strongly by Russia and by Iran. Iran wants ISIS out. Russia wants ISIS out. They want to destroy ISIS, and we should encourage them to do so.
But let me just make sure I understand. Is Assad the problem or the solution?
Well, nobody really knows that answer, but I can tell you the people that want to come in and replace Assad, nobody knows who they are, and they could end up being worse. Nobody has any idea who they are. We don't know, and we're constantly going out and siding with people, and they turn out to be worse than the people that were there before.
Let me just ask you, you hinted at this a second ago. If this race turns into a long slog, and all races do, and the polls change and you're no longer the person everybody's talking about, Donald, with all the great things going on in your life in other areas, do you have the stomach to stick this out?
Well, I'm a practical person, Matt. If I see things aren't going well, like, for instance, there are people right now within the Republican Party who are not doing well. I don't think it's going to change for many of them. At some point, you have to get out. Right now, I'm leading every poll. I'm doing very well. I get the biggest crowds by far. I had 20,000 people in Dallas. I had 35,000 people in Mobile, Alabama.
Right.
I mean, you know, so far it's looking good. I'm self-funding my campaign. That's the nice thing. So, and a lot of people respect that. So I'm not under the influence of the lobbyists and special interests and people like that. So I will go, and if I think for some reason it's not going to work, then I'd go back to my business. There's no question about that. But right now, I think it's working very, very well.
Donald Trump. Donald, thanks so much for your time this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Okay.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.